Hello friends, welcome to another lecture of machine design and I welcome you all on your own YouTube channel Unacademy Gate ME, which is India's only YouTube channel dedicated to mechanical engineers. Yes, you have heard me right. This channel is only for mechanical engineers where live classes are taken for GATE, engineering services, PSU exams, state level exams, every competitive exams related to mechanical engineering. And this is my team who are taking the live classes on our YouTube channel Unacademy Gate ME. तो अगर अभी तक आप लोगों ने इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो प्लीज माय फ्रेंड्स गो एंड सब्सक्राइब दिस चैनल एंड डोंट फॉरगेट to press the bell icon, my friends. Don't forget to press the bell icon so that you will not miss any video lecture, my friend. You will be notified whenever we are live, my friend. And after subscription, my friend, don't forget to share this video, my friend. I want you to share this video with all your friends, my friend, okay? Because this is free education, completely free of cost. So if a student cannot afford to pay fees for classroom coachings, then he can study using these free of cost online lectures, my friend. Okay, now my friend, we have a few more offerings for you. In the description of the video you will get the link of our Telegram channel, my friend. This is the link of our Telegram channel. You can find it in the description of the video, and we post all the relevant study material. Look at this. These are the PDF of the lecture notes. These are the PDF of the practice questions. These are the PDF of different exam questions. Okay, so if you want these study materials, then follow this Telegram channel, my friend. The link is in the description. Now, those of you who are watching me for the first time, let me introduce myself, my friend. My name is Aprup Rao. This is me, and I teach for students preparing for GATE and engineering services, my friend. I have MTech from IIT Kharagpur, and my specialization was mechanical systems design. And I worked for 2 years in the Mahindra Research Valley, which is the research and development center of Mahindra and Mahindra. I used to design and analyze the car, the body parts of the car. Okay, Mahindra XUV 500, KUV, TUV, you might have heard about these cars, right? So these cars are designed and developed in Mahindra Research Valley. So I worked there for 2 years as deputy manager. But I always had a passion for teaching, so I quit my job and I started teaching. So I teach subjects related to design because I have worked in the field of design. So that's why I can relate this subject with their practical examples. So I teach subjects related to design, strength of material, machine design, engineering mechanics, theory of machine. I teach these subjects, and here I am taught strength of material. And in this lecture series I am teaching machine design, my friend. Okay, I have 6+ years of teaching experience, and these are the other members of my team, my friend. You might have seen the videos of Mr. Devendra Singh Negi, AIR1. You might have seen the video lecture of Mr. Amit Dikshit, AIR1. You might have seen the video lecture of Mr. Prakhar Srivastav, AIR3. Okay, so these are some amazing lecturers who are taking online classes on our YouTube channel Unacademy Gate ME, my friend. So don't forget to see our videos every day, my friend. Okay, now my friend, in the last lecture we saw how to design a machine element subjected to completely reverse stress, right? In the last lecture we saw problems related to completely reverse stress, -100 to +100, -200 to +200. In this lecture we are going to cover the design of machine element subjected to fluctuating stress. Now, what is fluctuating stress and what is completely reverse stress? Completely reverse stress means sigma m is 0, and fluctuating stress means sigma m is not 0, my friend. Here sigma m is not 0. Okay, so in case of completely reverse stress, the stress fluctuates from -100 to +100, -200 to +200. So the mean stress, average stress is always 0. But in these problems of fluctuating stress, sigma m is not 0. Now let's see some examples, my friend. Let's see some examples. Okay, so let's say the stress is fluctuating, my friend, from 100 megapascal 100 megapascal to 300 megapascal. Okay, stress is fluctuating from 100 megapascal to 300 megapascal like this, my friend, like this. Okay, so this is an example of fluctuating stress. Look at the mean, my friend. Look at the mean. Where will you get the mean stress? 100 plus 300 by 2. So you will get the mean stress at 200 megapascal, my friend. You will get the mean stress at 200 megapascal. Sigma m will be equal to 200, right? Now, my friend, another example can be the stress can fluctuate from 0 to 200 megapascal. Okay, let's say the stress is fluctuating from 0 to 200 megapascal like this, my friend, like this. 0 to 200 megapascal. What is this stress, my friend? We have covered it in the first lecture. What is this stress? This is known as repeated stress, my friend. In this case also, the mean will not be 0, my friend. What will be the mean stress, my friend? In this case, what will be the mean stress? What will be the mean stress? What will be the mean stress, my friend? 0 plus 200 by 2 means the mean stress will be 100. Okay. Now another example, my friend, another example is, let's say the stress is fluctuating from minus 100 to plus 300. Stress is fluctuating from minus 100 to plus 300 megapascal like this, my friend, like this. Okay, like this, like this. Okay, so here all the stresses are tensile, but in this case some stress is compressive, some stress is tensile, but in this case also the mean stress will not be 0. What will be the mean stress, my friend? What will be the mean stress? 300 minus 100 by 2 means the mean stress will be 100 megapascal. 300 minus 100 by 2 mean stress will be 100 megapascal. Here, my friend, mean stress will be 100. So in all these three cases, my friend, sigma m is not 0, my friend. So these are the examples of what? Fluctuating stress. These are the examples of fluctuating stress. So do you understand what is fluctuating stress and what is completely reverse stress? Completely reverse stress means sigma m is 0. So in that case, what is the design process we saw yesterday? And today we are going to deal with problems related to fluctuating stress where sigma m is not 0. So do you understand this much? Do you understand this much, my friend? If you understand it, hit the like button right now, my friend. Hit the like button and show your appreciation, my friend. Your one like give me a lot of energy, give me a lot of encouragement, my friend. So please hit the like button and don't forget to share this video with your friends. I told you yesterday also, you have to share this video with at least 3 of your friends, my friend, at least 3. So copy the link right now and share it with your friends and call them online. Tell them that there is a live class going on for machine design and tell them that you have to attend these classes, my friend. Okay, so these are the examples, these are the problems that we are going to deal with today. So we will see how machine element is designed in these cases, my friend. Okay, now my friend, in this case, in case of fluctuating stress, if you want to design the machine element, what do we do? First of all, we will understand a graph plotted between sigma m and sigma a. In order to understand how the failure takes place and where will be the safe region, we will plot a graph between sigma m and sigma a. This is sigma m axis and this is sigma a axis, and we will plot a graph here, safe region. Just like theories of failure, we will plot a safe region here. Okay, so we have to find out what is the safe area, what is the safe area on this graph, what are the safe values of sigma m and safe values of sigma a. So first of all, we will find the safe value of sigma m. Okay, we will find the safe value of sigma m. So let's say you are here on sigma m axis. Okay, let's say you are here on sigma m axis. This is sigma m. So let's say you are here on sigma m axis. So on sigma m axis, my friend, what will be sigma a? On sigma m axis, sigma a will be equal to 0, right? So on sigma m axis, sigma a is 0. And if sigma a is 0, then what will happen, my friend? What is sigma a? Sigma a is sigma maximum minus sigma minimum divided by 2. Okay? And this is 0. So if this is 0, that means sigma max is equal to sigma minimum, right? Sigma maximum is equal to sigma minimum. So what is this, my friend? If sigma maximum and sigma minimum both are equal, then what is this? What is this? Sigma maximum and sigma minimum both are equal, means the stress is static, my friend. This is what? This is a static stress. This is a static stress. Maximum and minimum both are same, means 100 megapascal, 200 megapascal, 300 megapascal. Sigma maximum, sigma minimum both are same. The stress is not fluctuating. So this is a static stress. So if you are on sigma m axis, means the stress is static. Do you understand this? If you are on sigma m axis, sigma a is 0, means the stress is static. So what will be the maximum value of sigma m? What will be the maximum value, my friend? If you are on this axis, how much stress you can apply? If it is a static stress, then maximum you can apply, my friend, SYT. If it is a ductile material, and if it is a brittle material, then maximum you can apply SUT, right? So if you are on sigma m axis, what is your limit? If you are on this axis, you cannot cross SYT if it is a ductile material, and if it is a brittle material, you cannot cross SUT. Do you understand this much? This is the boundary. This is the boundary of sigma m. This is the boundary of sigma m. Just like that, we will find a boundary of sigma a. So on sigma a axis, my friend, sigma m will be 0, right? On sigma a axis, sigma m will be 0, and if sigma m is 0, my friend, that means what stress is this? It is a completely reverse stress, right? Sigma m is 0, mean is 0, means it is completely reverse stress. And in case of completely reverse stress, what is your boundary? If you are applying completely reverse stress, how much stress you can apply? You can maximum go up to endurance strength, right? Maximum you can go up to endurance strength. After endurance strength, the material will fail, the component will fail. If the stresses are within endurance strength, it will never fail. But if you cross endurance strength, it will fail. So you should not cross this line, this point on sigma a axis, and these points on sigma m axis. These are the boundaries on sigma m axis and sigma a axis. But here, my friend, we have both. We have sigma m as well as sigma a. Now by experiment, we found out that the actual failure takes place at these values of sigma m and sigma a. Okay, by performing experiment, we got these points, my friend. What are these points? These are the failure points. Okay, these are what? These are the failure points. Okay, these are what? These are the failure points. These are the failure points. These are what? Failure points. Means at these points, failure takes place. Okay, these are failure points. At these points, failure takes place. Okay, so we don't want the machine element to fail. We don't want the machine element to fail, right? So what we will do, my friend, if you don't want the machine element to fail, means sigma m and sigma a should not cross these values. These are failure values. These are maximum values. Okay, so sigma m and sigma a should not cross these values, right? So you have to keep the value of sigma m and sigma a inside this boundary. This is the boundary. Okay, now my friend, if I want to design the machine element, I need some equation, right? I need some equation. Using that equation, I will design, right? I know that the point should be inside this, the point should be in this area, but there must be some equation so that I will use that equation to design, right? Ultimate objective is to design. So in order to design, we need some equation. So how we will find the equation, my friend? We draw a parabola from SE to SUT. We draw a parabola from SE to SUT, my friend, which will be inside these points, which will be inside these points. Okay, so using the equation of this parabola, we can design the machine element. What is this parabola, my friend? What is this parabola? This parabola is known as Gerber's parabola. This parabola is known as Gerber's parabola. What is Gerber's parabola, my friend? It is a parabolic equation which you can use to design the machine element, and if you use this equation, the point will be inside this safe area, right? Look at this parabola. It is completely inside these points, right? So you can use this equation in order to design the machine element. But my friend, there is a problem. What is the problem? That it is a parabolic equation. Okay, so it is a little difficult to solve. It is a parabolic equation, so it is a little difficult to solve. So what we will do to solve this problem? What we will do to solve this problem? We will use a simple equation. So what is simpler than parabola, my friend? What will be simpler than parabola? What is the simplest equation in mathematics? It is the equation of a straight line, right? Linear equation. So what we will do next? We will see a straight line joining SE and SUT, my friend. What is this straight line, my friend? What is this straight line? What is this straight line? This straight line, my friend, this straight line is known as Goodman's line, my friend. This straight line is known as Goodman's line. So what is the advantage of Goodman's line? What is the difference between Gerber's parabola and Goodman's line? First difference is it is a parabolic equation, so it is hard to solve, and it is a straight line equation, easier to solve. So what is the advantage of Goodman's line? It will be easier to solve, okay? But that is not the only advantage. That is not the only reason why we use Goodman's line. The second advantage is, look at Goodman's line and look at Gerber's parabola. Which one is more conservative? I told you, my friend, I told you when we were discussing theories of failure, whenever we compare two different theories, which one is more conservative, my friend? Less area. I told you in case of theories of failure, less area means more conservative, right? Do you remember this? Less area, less safe area means more conservative. More conservative means bigger dimensions or bigger size. Bigger dimension, my friend, or bigger size, my friend. Okay. So if you design using Goodman's line, look at the area of Goodman's line. This is the safe area of Goodman's line, right? This will be the safe area from here. This will be a triangle area. So this will be the safe area of Goodman's line, and this area, this big area, will be of Gerber's parabola. So which one has less area? Goodman's line has less area. So it will be more conservative, means you will have bigger size. So you will be safer, my friend. You will be safer. Okay, your design will be safer, my friend. Gerber parabola is close to these failure points. Look at these failure points. Look at these failure points. Gerber is close to these failure points, right? Gerber is close to these failure points. So if you use Gerber's parabola, your design will be accurate, but it will not be very safe. It will not be very safe because the Gerber's parabola is close to the failure points. But Goodman's line is far from the failure points. So it will be less. It will have less area, means it will be more conservative, bigger size, my friend. So do you understand? Do you understand this point, my friend? Do you understand this point? Less area is more conservative. Goodman is more conservative than Gerber's parabola. Goodman line is more conservative than Gerber's parabola, and if it is more conservative means bigger size, so safe design, my friend. But there is a problem with Goodman's line and Gerber's parabola. What is that problem? Let's say your point is here. Let's say your point is here, my friend. So what will happen? See, this point is beyond SYT. So if you have a ductile material, the material will fail in yielding, right? The material will fail in yielding, my friend. If you have a ductile material, it might fail in yielding. So if you are using Goodman and Gerber, you cannot save the material from yielding. Okay, if it is a brittle material, there will be no yielding, no problem. But if it is a ductile material and if the point is here, it might fail in yielding. So in that case, what we will do, my friend? We will draw another straight line, my friend, joining SE and SYT. We will draw another straight line joining SE and SYT, my friend. Okay, we will draw another straight line joining SE and SYT. This straight line, my friend, this straight line is known as Soderbergh's line. This straight line is known as Soderbergh's line. So my friend, we have now three different criteria. We now have three different criteria, my friend. We have Gerber's parabola, we have Goodman's line, we have Soderbergh's line. What is the difference between three? Let's understand. Gerber parabola is most accurate. Why? Because it is closest to actual failure point, right? So it is most accurate. But the problem is it is parabolic, so the equation is little difficult to solve. Plus, it will not be very safe. It will not be very safe. You will be very close to the border, right? So in that case, what you can use? Goodman's line. So if you use Goodman's line, you will have two advantages. First, it is the equation of straight line. So compared to Gerber parabola, it will be easier to solve. And second advantage, my friend, that it is more conservative. So it will be safer, my friend. Bigger dimension, you will get bigger size, so you will have safe design. But in both these cases, Gerber and Goodman, the problem is that they do not consider yielding. Okay, look at these two. They are joining SE and SUT. They are not considering SYT. So if the point is here, my friend, if the point is here, then it will fail according to Gerber and Goodman. So in that case, if you are using a ductile material, you will use Soderbergh line which joins SE and SYT, right? So if your point is inside this line, it will never cross SYT. It will be safe from yielding, my friend. Okay, so we have three different criteria. Just like 5 theories of failure, we saw 5 theories of failure in static loading. Here we are seeing 3 different theories: Soderbergh, Gerber and Goodman, my friend. Okay. Now, my friend, this is the graph. This is the graphical representation. We have to see their mathematical equation also. We have to see what will be the equation of Soderbergh line, Gerber parabola and Goodman's line, because we will use that equation to design the machine element. So let's see the equation of all these criteria. So first we will see the equation of Soderbergh's criteria. Okay, we will see the equation of Soderbergh's criteria. Okay, so let's see the equation of Soderbergh's criteria, my friend. So Soderbergh is actually a straight line. Soderbergh is a straight line, my friend. So what will be the equation of straight line? What will be the equation of straight line which is crossing x-axis and y-axis? So if we have this equation of straight line, we have this equation of straight line, my friend. X by A plus y by B equal to 1. This is the equation of a straight line, my friend. This is the equation of a straight line. What is your x-axis? Your x-axis is sigma, my friend. Your x-axis is sigma. And A is what? It is cutting x-axis at point A. So where this is cutting x-axis, Soderbergh is cutting x-axis at SYT. Soderbergh line is cutting x-axis at SYT. So A point will be SYT. Plus, what is your y-axis, my friend? What is your y-axis? Sigma A, right? Y-axis will be sigma A. And where it is cutting y-axis? Where it is cutting y-axis? It is cutting y-axis at point SE. This will be equal to 1. This is what? This is what? This is the equation of Soderbergh's line. But my friend, if your point is on this line, my friend, that means you are just on the border. If your point is on this line, that means you are just on the border. And if the stress is slightly increased, you will be out of this region. You will be out of safe area. You will fail. So my friend, you don't want to be on the border. You want to be inside the border. Okay, this is on the border and this is inside the border. So on the border, I told you in theories of failure, on the border will be means factor of safety will be 1. If you are on the border, factor of safety will be 1. So we don't want factor of safety to be 1. We need some factor of safety, right? We don't want the point to be on the border. We need the point to be inside the border. So in that case, what we will do, my friend? We will use some factor of safety, my friend. We will use some factor of safety. So sigma m divided by SYT. What we will do? We will divide it with some factor of safety. Now, my friend, we have two strength, yield strength and endurance strength. So we can use the same factor of safety for both, or we can also use different factor of safety. That depends upon us. Okay, so that depends upon us. We can use the same factor of safety, or we can use different factor of safety. Factor of safety 1, factor of safety 2. Okay, we can do this also, but in most of the examples that you will solve, factor of safety in both cases will be same. So let's consider both have same factor of safety. Okay, this will be equal to 1, and if you solve this, what you will get? You will get this sigma m by SYT plus sigma A by SE equals to 1 by factor of safety. This is the equation, my friend. According to Soderbergh criteria, you can use this equation to design the machine element, to find the dimensions of the machine element. Okay, you can use this equation to find the dimensions of the machine element. Now, where do we use Soderbergh criteria, my friend? Where do we use Soderbergh criteria? We use Soderbergh criteria for this criteria is used, to design which material, my friend? This criteria is used for ductile materials, my friend. This criteria is used for ductile materials, my friend. And look at this, my friend. If you compare both these criteria, which one has the least area? Which one has the least safe area? Soderbergh has the least safe area. So it is the most conservative criteria. It is most conservative criteria. It is the most conservative criteria. It is the most conservative criteria. Most conservative criteria, my friend. Okay. So if you design using Soderbergh criteria, the dimensions will be maximum, my friend. Okay, it is the most conservative, so dimensions will be maximum. So do you understand Soderbergh's criteria? Do you understand, my friend? Soderbergh criteria: sigma m by SYT plus sigma A by SE equals to 1 by FOS. So this is the equation according to Soderbergh criteria. Okay, so you have to remember this equation and you have to remember these 2 points. This criteria is used for which material? Ductile material. Why? Because it consider yielding. These 2 criteria do not consider yielding. Okay, they will only consider fracture, but this criteria will consider yielding, and it is the most conservative criteria, means less area, least area, maximum dimension. Okay, so this was the first criteria, my friend. This was the first criteria. Let's move on to the next criteria, which is Goodman's criteria. Okay, let's move on to next criteria, which is Goodman's criteria, my friend. So in case of Goodman's criteria, again, my friend, you have the same situation. Again, you have the same situation, my friend. This is also the equation of straight line x by a. This is also the equation of straight line x by a plus x by a plus y by b equal to 1, right? What is the x-axis, my friend? Sigma m divided by, where Goodman is cutting the x-axis, SUT, right? Goodman is cutting x-axis at SUT, right? SUT plus, what is the y-axis, my friend? What is the y-axis? Sigma a. Look at the y-axis. It is sigma a. Okay, so y-axis is sigma a, and where it is cutting y-axis, my friend? Where it is cutting y-axis? At SE equals to 1, my friend. And if you use factor of safety, if you divide both these with factor of safety, what will you get? Sigma m by SUT plus sigma a by SE equals to 1 by FOS. This is the equation of the line, but we don't want the point to be on line. We want the point to be inside the line. So we use factor of safety, my friend. So this is the equation according to Goodman's criteria, my friend. Goodman's criteria. So you can use this equation to design the machine element according to Goodman's criteria. Now Goodman's criteria is used on which case, my friend? Goodman's criteria is used in which case? This criteria, my friend. this criteria, sorry, this criteria is used, this criteria is used for brittle material, my friend. Soderbergh is used for ductile material. This criteria is used for brittle materials, my friend. Okay. And my friend, for brittle material, we also have Gerber's parabola. So what is the difference between Goodman and Gerber, my friend? It is simpler and safer. It is simpler and safer than Gerber's criteria. If you compare it with Gerber's criteria, it is simpler and safer than Gerber's criteria. So do you understand the difference between Goodman and Gerber? Compared to Gerber, Goodman is simpler, means it is the equation of straight line, very simple equation, right? So it can be used if you want a simple solution. And what is the difference, my friend? What is the difference? Another difference is it is safer because it is more conservative. Look at this, my friend. Less area means more conservative, right? Goodman has less area and Gerber has more area. So Goodman is more conservative compared to Gerber. Okay. So this is the Goodman's criteria, my friend. Now the next one is Gerber's criteria. Next criteria is Gerber's criteria, which is actually a parabola, my friend. Gerber's criteria is actually a parabola, my friend. And in case of parabola, my friend, what is the equation? The equation of straight line we know, x by a plus y by b equals to 1. What is the equation of parabola? What is the equation of parabola, my friend? What is the equation of parabola? It is x by a whole square plus y by b equals to 1, right? Now, my friend, what is the x-axis? Sigma m. And what is the intercept at x-axis? SUT whole square plus what is the y-axis? Sigma a, and intercept on y-axis SE equals to 1. This is what? This is the equation of Gerber's parabola. This is the equation of Gerber's parabola. But we don't want the point to be on the parabola. We want it to be inside the parabola. So what we will do? We will use factor of safety. So what we will do, my friend? Sigma m divided by SUT upon FOS whole square of this plus sigma a divided by SE upon FOS. I am using the same factor of safety for both. You can also have different factor of safety. That depends upon the question. But in maximum questions, you will see same factor of safety. You will see same factor of safety in maximum question. Okay. So that's why I am assuming that factor of safety is same. Otherwise, you can take different factor of safety. Okay. Now, my friend, if you solve this, what you will get? If you solve this, you will get this, my friend. FOS into sigma m divided by SUT whole square plus FOS into sigma a divided by SE equals to 1, my friend. This is the equation according to Gerber's criteria. You can use this equation to design the machine element. So do you understand this, my friend? Do you understand Gerber's criteria, my friend? So we have three different equations, my friend. This equation, we have this equation, we have this equation. We have to remember these three equations in order to solve problems. Okay, in order to solve problem. Now, my friend, you also need to understand what is the difference between Gerber and Goodman. So Gerber criteria, this criteria is also used for brittle material. This criteria is also used for brittle materials, my friend. Okay, this criteria is also used for brittle materials, but it is different than Goodman. Why? Because, my friend, it is closest to the points, closest to the actual point. These are actual point, failure point from experiment. These points were calculated from experiment. Okay, from experiment. These were found out using experiment, my friend, from experiment. Okay, these are experimental data. Okay, so this curve, Gerber's curve, is very close to actual points, so it is most accurate. It is the most accurate. It is most accurate. It is most accurate. It is most accurate criteria. Most accurate criteria. But the design will be a little difficult because of this equation, parabolic equation. It will be a little difficult to solve, and it will be less conservative, means the chances of failure will be more because it is very close to the border. It is very close to the border, so chances of failure are more. Okay, so these two criteria are safer than Gerber criteria. So do you understand this, my friend? Do you understand this? So you have to remember these three equations. You have to remember this equation, and you have to remember these points that I have written. Okay, I will give you the PDF of these notes. Don't worry, don't worry. From now on, I will give you the PDF of my lectures. I will post these PDF on our Telegram channel. I told you about our Telegram channel, right? This is our Telegram channel. This is our Telegram channel, my friend. The link is in the description. The link is in the description. You can see we post all the relevant study material in PDF format, my friend. Okay, so I will post the PDF of these notes. I will post the PDF of these notes in the Telegram channel. So follow the Telegram channel right now. In the description you will find the link. Right now follow that channel, my friend. Okay, so after this lecture ends, after some time, I mean to say that at the end of the day I will post the PDF. Okay, by the end of the day I will post the PDF on our Telegram channel. Every day after the lecture ends I will post the PDF, so you can download the PDF from there. Okay, all right, my friend. So let's solve a problem. Let's solve a problem, my friend. You will see these type of problems. Okay, you will see this type of problem in your exam. Most of the problem will be like this. Okay, so let's solve this problem. What is the question, my friend? A machine element is subjected to fluctuating stress which varies from minus 50 megapascal to 150 megapascal. Okay, so what is given, my friend? Sigma minimum is given. Sigma minimum is minus 50 megapascal. Okay, and sigma maximum is also given. Sigma maximum is how much, my friend? 150 megapascal. Okay, sigma maximum is 150 megapascal. Okay, so these two values are given, sigma minimum and sigma maximum, my friend. Okay, all right. Next, yield, ultimate yield and endurance strength are 600, 400 and 300. Ultimate strength, yield strength and endurance strength. And this endurance strength you have to assume is the corrected endurance strength, actual endurance strength. Okay, if there is no factor Ka, Kb, Kc, Kd, no factor is given, so you will assume that this is a corrected endurance strength. So corrected endurance strength is given, my friend. Corrected endurance strength is given. So what is given? SUT is 600 megapascal, SYT is 400 megapascal, and SE is 300 megapascal. Okay, note these values down, my friend. You also have to solve with me. Okay, so sigma minimum and maximum is given and all the strengths are given. And what do we need to calculate? We need to find the factor of safety according to Soderberg, Goodman and Gerber's criteria. Okay, so let's solve this problem, my friend. Let's solve this problem. So in order to solve these problem, we will use these three equations. This is the first equation, this is the second equation, this is the third equation. But in order to solve these problems, we have to first find sigma m and sigma a, mean stress and stress amplitude. So mean stress, sigma a, is equal to what? Sigma maximum plus sigma minimum by 2. Okay, this is the mean stress. Sigma maximum plus sigma minimum by 2. What is maximum, my friend? 150. What is minimum, my friend? 50 divided by 2. So how much will you get, my friend? 150 minus 50, 100 divided by 2 means 50. And what will be sigma a, my friend? What will be sigma a? Sigma maximum minus sigma minimum divided by 2. Okay, so sigma maximum is 150 minus sigma minimum. Sigma minimum is minus 50. So minus and minus, they will become plus divided by 2. So how much will you get, my friend? 150 plus 50 means 200 divided by 2 means 100. So sigma m is 50, sigma a is 100, my friend. Do you understand this much? So this is the first step, sigma m and sigma a. If you want to solve these problems, in case of theories of failure, what is the first step? To find principal stresses, sigma 1, 2, 3. Here what will be the first step? To find sigma m and sigma a. So you have found out sigma m and sigma a. Now we will one by one use the criteria. So what is the first criteria? Soderberg criteria. Soderberg's criteria. So according to Soderberg's criteria, my friend, what is the equation? This is the equation, my friend. This is the equation according to Soderberg. Sigma m by SYT plus sigma a by SE equals to 1 by FOS. So let's put the values in the equation. Sigma m by SYT plus sigma a by SE equals to 1 by FOS. Okay, so put the values in the equation. What is sigma m? 50. What is SYT? 400 plus what is sigma a? What is sigma a, my friend? 100. And what is SE, my friend? What is SE? 300 equals to 1 by FOS. Okay, so this is the equation, my friend. Solve this equation and you will get factor of safety. Solve this equation and you will get factor of safety. So solve it and tell me what will be the factor of safety, my friend. Solve this relation and find the factor of safety. Find the factor of safety. Okay, so solve this relation. I am also solving on my calculator. So this will be 50 by 400. 50 by 400 plus 100 by 300, or you can write 1 by 3. Okay, so this will be, the factor of safety will be 2.18. Factor of safety will be 2.18, my friend. 2.18, right? This is the factor of safety according to Soderberg criteria, 2.18. So like this, you can find the other two factor of safety, Goodman criteria and Gerber's criteria. Let's use Goodman's criteria. Let's use Goodman's criteria. Let's use Goodman's criteria. So according to Goodman's criteria, what you have to do, my friend? You have to just change one value, my friend. Here you will have SUT. Instead of SYT, you will have SUT. It will become sigma m by SUT plus sigma a by SE equals to 1 by FOS. Okay, so put the values in this equation, my friend. So you only have to change this one value. Sigma m is 50 divided by what is SUT? 600 plus sigma a by SE 100 by 300 equals to 1 by FOS. Okay, so what will be the factor of safety, my friend? What will be the factor of safety? Solve this relation, my friend. What will be the factor of safety? What will be the factor of safety? Factor of safety will be 2.4, my friend. Factor of safety according to Goodman's criteria is 2.4, my friend. So this is the answer according to Goodman's criteria. This is the answer according to Goodman's criteria. Now the third criteria is which one, my friend? The third criteria is Gerber's criteria. The third criteria is Gerber's criteria. So solve the Gerber's relation, my friend. Gerber's criteria is actually a parabolic criteria, parabolic equation. So you have to solve a parabolic equation, my friend. Okay, what is the relation, my friend? FOS into sigma m divided by SUT whole square plus FOS into sigma a by SE equals to 1. right? So this is the parabolic equation, my friend. This is actually quadratic equation. If you put the values, you will get a quadratic equation. Okay, you will get this FOS into what is sigma m, 50. FOS into what is sigma m, it will be 50 divided by, sorry, FOS into 50 divided by 600 whole square plus FOS into sigma A 100 by SE 300 equals to 1 by FOS. Okay, so this is a quadratic equation, my friend. This is a quadratic equation. You might get two values, my friend, but one of those values will be negative. So one of those values is not possible. Factor of safety cannot be negative. So if you are getting a positive value and a negative value, ignore the negative value. This is a quadratic equation. You will get two values. Ignore the second value because that will not be possible. Factor of safety cannot be negative. So only consider the positive value. So if you solve this, you will get 2.8, my friend. You will get 2.8. So this will be the factor of safety according to Gerber's criteria. Look at these values, my friend. Look at these values. According to Soderbergh, 2.18. According to Goodman, 2.4. According to Gerber, 2.8. Do you understand this? Do you understand this, my friend? Do you understand this? Sorry. This will be 2.18. Do you understand this, my friend? Do you understand why this is the least value and this is the maximum value? Let me explain. Let me explain using this graph. Okay. So, my friend, let's say the point is here. Let's say the point is here, right? Now, my friend, if you are on the border, factor of safety is 1. And if you are inside the border, factor of safety is greater than 1, right? This you understand. This you understand. If you are on the border, factor of safety is 1. Inside the border, factor of safety is increasing. So what is factor of safety? In this graph, what is factor of safety? It is the distance. It is the distance of this point from the border. It is the distance of this point from the border, my friend. It is this distance. It is this distance. It is this distance. Okay. So look at this distance, my friend. From Soderbergh, the distance of this point is minimum. But from Goodman, it will be more. And from Gerber, it will be maximum. The distance is showing the factor of safety. This distance is showing the factor of safety. Okay. So this distance is less in case of Soderbergh, more in case of Goodman, and maximum in case of Gerber. So this distance is showing the factor of safety. That's why factor of safety is minimum according to Soderbergh criteria. Okay. It is minimum according to Soderbergh criteria. Look at this. Look at this. Soderbergh criteria minimum because the distance from this line, Soderbergh line will be minimum. Then from Goodman line distance will be more, and from Gerber it will be maximum. Okay, so that's why the value factor of safety is minimum in Soderbergh, then more in Goodman, and then maximum in Gerber. Do you understand this fact? Do you understand how you can relate these values with the graph? Do you understand this? Very good, my friend. Hit the like button if you have still not liked the video. Hit the like button if you are understanding these amazing concepts. Hit the like button right now, my friend. Okay. All right, my friend. Now we will solve another problem. This time, my friend, we will solve a GATE problem. Previous year GATE question. This is from GATE 2013. And my friend, it is a problem related to design. It is a problem related to design. This last problem was not a design problem. Okay. Here we calculated factor of safety, which is not design problem. Design problem means you are calculating area, or you are calculating dimension, you are calculating the dimensions of the body, size of the body. So that is design problem. Okay. So this problem is from GATE 2013, 2 marks problem. Let's first read the question. A bar is subjected to fluctuating tensile load. A bar is subjected to fluctuating tensile load from 20 kilonewton to 100 kilonewton. Minimum load 20, maximum load 100. Material has yield strength 240. And endurance strength is 160. According to Soderbergh criteria, the area of cross section in mm square for a factor of safety of 2 is factor of safety of 2, and what do we need to calculate? Area of cross section, my friend. Area of cross section we need to calculate. And this is a bar, my friend. This is a bar subjected to fluctuating load. This is a bar subjected to fluctuating load, my friend. Okay, this is a bar. Okay, so my friend, it is like this. My friend, it is like this. It is a bar. Okay, it is a bar subjected to. It is a bar subjected to tensile load. It is a bar subjected to tensile load like this, my friend. It is a bar subjected to tensile load like this. Okay, but this load is not constant. This load is not constant. It is fluctuating from 20 kilonewton to 100 kilonewton. It is fluctuating from 20 kilonewton to 100 kilonewton. Okay, 20 kilonewton to 100 kilonewton. 20 kilonewton to 100 kilonewton. Okay, so this is axial load. Minimum load is 20, maximum load is 100. Okay, bar subjected to axial load. So which stress will be developed, my friend? Which stress will be developed? Axial stress, sigma. What will be the minimum sigma, my friend? What will be the minimum sigma? Minimum sigma, my friend, will be minimum force divided by area. So what is the minimum force? 20 kilonewton. So 20 into 10 to the power 3 divided by area A. 20 into 10 to the power 3 divided by area A. Okay, 20 into 10 to the power 3 divided by area A. This is sigma minimum. And what will be maximum stress, my friend? What will be the maximum stress? Maximum stress, my friend, will be 100 kilonewton is the maximum load. So 100 kilonewton divided by area. 100 kilonewton divided by area, my friend. This will be the maximum stress. So minimum stress, maximum stress, my friend. Okay. Now my friend, what will be sigma m? What will be sigma m? Sigma maximum plus sigma minimum divided by 2, right? Sigma maximum plus sigma minimum divided by 2. So 100 plus 20 divided by 2. What will you get? 120 by 2. 60 into 10 to the power 3 divided by area. This will be the sigma m. And sigma a, what will you get? 100 minus 20. 100 minus 20 means 80 divided by 2 means 40 kilonewton. 40 kilonewton divided by area. So this will be sigma a. This will be sigma m. This will be sigma a, my friend. Okay. So we have found sigma m and sigma a, my friend. Now, my friend, we need to use Soderberg criteria. We need to use Soderberg criteria. Okay. We will use Soderberg's criteria. Soderberg's criteria. So what is the equation according to Soderberg criteria? Sigma m by SYT plus sigma a by SE equals to 1 by FOS, right? Now put the values, my friend. Put the values here. Sigma m is 60 into 10 to the power 3 divided by area. And what is SYT? What is SYT? 240. 240 plus sigma a. What is sigma a? 40 into 10 to the power 3 by area. And what is SE? 160 equals to factor of safety. What is the factor of safety given in the question? 2, my friend. So from this equation, you can find the area, my friend. From this equation, you can find the area. From this equation, you can find the area. So from this equation, if you solve this equation, what is the area you are getting, my friend? Solve this equation and find the area. You will get this, my friend. You will get this. You will get 1000 mm square. This will be the answer, my friend. 1000 mm square. This will be the answer. 1000 mm square. So which one is the answer, my friend? Which one is the answer? From the options, you can find the answer. Which one is the answer, my friend? 1000 mm square. D. D is the answer. So do you understand, my friend? Do you understand how you can solve, how you can find the size of the body? You will find the stresses in terms of the size, and then when you will put the values here in Soderberg area criteria, you will get the size. You will get the area, my friend. So this is the question where you have to find the size of the body. This is the design question, my friend. This is the design question, my friend. This is the design question, my friend. So you will see these two types of problems, my friend. In the last problem we saw how to find factor of safety. So you will see this type of problems in GATE where you have to find the factor of safety. Okay. So you just have to find the values of sigma m, sigma a, put it in the equation and find factor of safety. And in this problem, my friend, we had to find the size of the body, any dimension. Okay, here we had to find the area. In some case, you might have to find diameter. In some case, you might have to find thickness. Depending upon the problem, depending upon the machine element, there might be different type of dimension that you have to find. So you will find the stress in terms of the dimension, put the values in the equation, and when you will solve the equation, you will get the dimension of the body. Here we had to calculate the area of the body. Okay, so do you understand? You will get these two types of problem. Very easy to solve. You just need to remember these equations: Soderberg, Goodman and Gerber equation. You just have to remember the equation and put the values in the equation. Okay, my friend. Now, my friend, we have seen these three criteria: Soderberg, Goodman and Gerber. But there is another criteria which is known as modified Goodman's criteria. Modified Goodman's criteria. And in the recent times, there have been two questions from modified Goodman's criteria. Okay, there have been two questions in GATE in the past few years. So modified Goodman's criteria nowadays is very important, my friend. Okay, so let's understand what is modified Goodman's criteria. Okay, let's understand what is modified Goodman. So my friend, we have three criteria. But for ductile material, which one we use? For ductile material, we use Soderberg. Okay, for ductile material, we use Soderberg. But what is the problem with Soderberg? It is very conservative. The Soderberg criteria is very conservative. Why it is very conservative? Look at this area, my friend. Very less area. Actual area is very big, but Soderberg area is very less. It is very far from the border. It is very far. This line is very far from the border. Which is closest to the border? Gerber. Gerber is closest to the border. So it is most accurate. But Soderberg is very far from the border. So it is very, very highly conservative. And in some cases, we don't want a very highly conservative criteria. Okay. It is not always good to be very conservative. Okay. It is good to be conservative. It is good to have bigger dimensions. But if you increase the dimensions too much, let's say you only need 100 mm diameter. So if you use 120, 130 means you are being safe. But if you use 200, instead of 100 you are using 200, means you are being very highly conservative and you are increasing the size. If you are increasing the size, you are wasting a lot of material. So Soderberg criteria, what is the problem with Soderberg criteria? It is highly conservative. It is very, very conservative. We don't want this much conservative criteria. We don't want to be this much safe. Okay. We want to be closer to these points. Okay. So that's why we use Goodman's line. That's why we use Goodman's line. But my friend, the problem with Goodman's line is it cannot save the material from yielding. If the point is here, it will fail in yielding. Okay, it will fail in yielding. So what we will do in that case, my friend? What we will do in that case? We will use Goodman's line. For ductile material, we will use Goodman's line. Okay, we will not use Soderberg line. Why do we not use Soderberg line? Do you understand this point? Because Soderberg is very highly conservative. It is very away from this actual points. So it is highly conservative. Material is wasted. Okay. So we will not use Soderberg, we will use Goodman, but we have to modify Goodman. We have to modify Goodman. So how we will modify Goodman? Let's understand that. Okay, how we will modify Goodman? Let's understand that. So my friend, first of all, I will draw the Goodman's line. So this is SE. Okay, this is SYT. Okay, and this is SUT. Okay, this is SE, this is SYT, and this is SUT, my friend. So Goodman's line is line joining SE and SUT. Okay, it is the line joining SE and SUT. What is this line, my friend? This line is Goodman's line, right? This line is Goodman's line. This line is Goodman's line. Okay, but for ductile material, we have to modify Goodman's line. How we will modify Goodman's line, my friend? We have to save the material from yielding, right? We have to save the material from yielding. So we will draw a straight line joining SYT and SYT. We will draw a straight line joining SYT and SYT, my friend. What is this line called? What is this line called? This line, my friend, joining SYT and SYT is known as Langer's line. This line is known as Langer's line. Okay. What is the meaning of this line, my friend? Let's understand. Why we are drawing Goodman's line? Because we don't want the material to fail from fatigue, right? We don't want the material to fail from fatigue. So if the point is inside Goodman, it is safe from fatigue. If the point is inside Goodman line, it is safe from fatigue. But the material can also be failed in yielding. So if the point is inside Langer's line, then it is safe from yielding. If the point is inside Langer's line, then it is safe from yielding. So my friend, if you want to save the material from fatigue as well as from yielding, then what you have to do? Then you have to keep the point inside the common area. What is the common area, my friend? What is the common area? This is the common area, my friend. This is the common area, right? This is the common area. Do you understand? What is the common area? What is the common area, my friend? This is the common area. Look at this common area. Look at this common area. Let me fill the common area for you. I am not very good at drawing, so I have to do this very slowly, very carefully. I have to do this very slowly, very carefully. Okay. So this is the common area, right? This is the common area. So if the point is inside this common area, means you are safe from both. You are safe from fatigue. You are safe from yielding, my friend. So do you understand this? Do you understand this? Do you understand this, my friend? Do you understand this point? Do you understand this point? So let's name this point. Let's name these points. Let's name these points. Okay. So let's call it O. Let's call it A. Let's call this point B. And let's call this point C. Okay. So what is OABC, my friend? What is OABC? OABC is common area. OABC is common area of Langer and Goodman's line. Common area of Langer and Goodman's line. So this is safe area according to modified Goodman's criteria. Okay. OABC is safe area. Safe area. OABC is safe area according to OABC is safe area according to modified Goodman's criteria. According to modified Goodman's criteria. Do you understand this? Do you understand this, my friend? Do you understand this? So my friend, according to modified Goodman's criteria, if the point is inside this range area, inside OABC, then it is safe according to Langer's line. It is safe according to Langer's line, and it is also safe according to Goodman's lines. Means it is safe from yielding and it is also safe from fatigue. Do you understand this? If the point is inside this, it is safe from Langer. It is also safe from Goodman. So my friend, this is modified Goodman. This area OABC is modified Goodman. Do you understand this point? Do you understand this point, my friend? We have to save the material from fatigue. We also have to save the material from yielding. So if you only use Goodman, you cannot save it from yielding. So we will use Goodman as well as Langer. So Langer will save it from yielding. Goodman will save it from fatigue. Langer will save it from yielding, my friend. So if the point is inside this common area, it is safe from both fatigue as well as from yielding, my friend. Do you understand this? Do you understand this, my friend? Do you understand this? Now, my friend, we know what is the equation of Goodman's line. We know what is the equation of Goodman's line, right? We know what is the equation of Goodman's line, but we don't know what is the equation of Langer's line. We don't know what is the equation of Langer's line, right? We don't know what is the equation of Langer's line. So what we will do, my friend? What we will do? We will write the equation of Langer's line. Let's write the equation of Langer's line. What happened? Wait a minute. Okay, so let's write the equation of Langer's line, my friend. Okay, let's write the equation of Langer's line. So according to Goodman's line, what is the equation? According to Goodman's line, what is the equation, my friend? According to Goodman's line, what is the relation, my friend? Sigma m by SUT plus sigma a by SE equals to 1 by FOS, right? And according to Langer's line, what will be the equation, my friend? According to Langer's line, what will be the equation? X by A. So on sigma m axis, it is cutting SYT plus Y by V. On sigma A axis also, it is cutting SYT, right? So it can be written like this: sigma m plus sigma A equals to SYT by FOS. Okay, so do you understand, my friend? We have now two different equations. My friend. We have two different equations. Okay, this is Goodman's line and this is Langer's line. Now, my friend, you have to understand how we are going to use this. Okay, you have to understand how we are going to use this. So let's say, my friend, you have to find the factor of safety. Okay, I told you can get two types of problems. In this problem, you have to find factor of safety. So what we will do, if you need to find factor of safety, then you will find factor of safety according to Goodman's line, and my friend, you will also find factor of safety according to Langer's line. And according to factor of safety according to modified Goodman, factor of safety according to modified Goodman's criteria will be what? According to modified Goodman's criteria will be equal to minimum of factor of safety 1 and factor of safety 2. Minimum of factor of safety 1 and factor of safety 2. Now understand why I am using minimum. Let's say the point is here. Okay, so it is closer to which line, my friend? This line. It is closer to Langer line. So according to which criteria it will fail? According to Langer line it will fail. Okay, it is closer to Langer line. So according to which criteria it will fail first? It will fail according to Langer line. Okay, it will fail first according to Langer line. It is away from Goodman. It is close to Langer. So which factor of safety will be the actual factor of safety? This, according to Langer, because it is closer to Langer. Do you understand this? And if the point is here, then it is closer to which line? It is closer to this line, my friend. This line is Langer and this line AB. BC is Langer, AB is Goodman. BC is Langer, AB is Goodman. So according to which criteria it will fail? If the point is here, then it will fail according to Goodman's criteria, my friend. Then it will fail according to Goodman's criteria because it is closer to Goodman. Okay. So which factor of safety you will use? You will use the factor of safety according to Goodman because it is closer to Goodman. So do you understand why we are using minimum? Because, my friend, the closer it is to line, it will fail first from that line. Okay, so we have to use minimum factor of safety. Now in some case you might get same factor of safety. From both the line. If you are at equal distance from AB and BC, you will get the same factor of safety from both the line. So factor of safety can be same also. FOS1 and FOS2 can be equal. But if they are different, then which one will be the actual? The factor of safety which is minimum. Okay. So this is the first type of problem where you are calculating factor of safety. But let's say you need to calculate the area like this question. In this question we calculated area. So if you want to calculate area, then what you will do? Calculate the area according to Goodman and Langer. Then which area you will use? Maximum area. Okay. If you are calculating area, if you are calculating dimension, if you are calculating dimension, if you are finding dimension, if you are finding size, then take maximum size. Take maximum size from Goodman and Langer. Okay, so find the size according to Goodman's line and Langer's line, and whichever is maximum, choose that. Okay, if you are finding factor of safety, minimum should be the answer. If you are finding area or diameter or thickness, if you are finding the size, maximum should be the answer. Do you understand this? Let's solve a problem, then you will understand. Okay, so this is the problem of GATE 2018. I told you in recent years there are problems from modified Goodmans. Okay, so let's solve this problem, my friend. Let's solve this problem. Okay, so a bar is subjected to combination of steady load. So we have a question of bar. Again we have a question of bar, but there is a steady load also, 60 kilonewton, and a fluctuating load minus 10 to 90 kilonewton. Okay, so my friend, this problem is a special problem. Why? Because in this problem there is a steady load and there is a fluctuating load. Both the loads are acting, steady load and fluctuating load. Okay, endurance strength, yield strength and ultimate strength is given, factor of safety is given, and we need to find the size. We need to find the size. Okay, the cross section is a square and we need to find the value of the side. Okay, according to which? Modified Goodman's criteria. Okay, according to modified Goodman's criteria, and it is a GATE 2018 question. Okay, so let's solve this question. It is a very interesting question. Why it is a very interesting question? Because in this question, my friend, there is a steady load as well as fluctuating load. So what we will do in this case? What we will do in this case, my friend? Let's understand this question. Okay, in this question, there is a steady load. There is a steady load of 60 kilonewton. Okay, there is a steady load of 60 kilonewton. Okay, the steady load is here, 60 kilonewton. There is a steady load of 60 kilonewton, and my friend, there is a fluctuating load. There is a fluctuating load. Okay, fluctuating load is fluctuating from where to where? Fluctuating load is fluctuating from minus 10, from minus 10. Okay, it is fluctuating from minus 10. Okay, this is steady 60. It is fluctuating from minus 10 to 90. Okay, it is fluctuating from minus 10 to 90. Okay, like this. It is fluctuating like this. It is fluctuating like this, minus 10 to 90. Okay, so what we will do, my friend, both the loads are in the same direction. Both the loads are acting axially. Okay, so what we will do, we will add both the values. We will add both the values. We will add both the values, my friend. So my friend, if you add both the values, then my friend, you will get, if you add both the values, then you will get the total load. If you add both the values, then we will get the total load, my friend. So what will be the total load, my friend? If you add both the values, then what you will get? If you add both the values, then what you will get? 60 minus 10. What will be the minimum load? Now what will be the minimum load? 60 minus 10. What will be the minimum load? 60 minus 10 means 50. So minimum load will become 50, and 60 plus 90. What will be the maximum load? 150. So now, my friend, your stress will be fluctuating. Your load will be fluctuating from 50 to 150. From 50 to 150, my friend. From 50 to 150. So do you understand what we did? Do you understand what we did, my friend? Do you understand what we did? F minimum. What do you need to do if there is a steady load plus fluctuating load? Steady load plus fluctuating load. Just add both the values. So F minimum will be 60 minus 10. 60. This will always be 60. This is the steady load. So minimum value 60, maximum value 60. So 60 minus 10. It will be 50 kilonewton. Okay. And F maximum will be equal to 60 plus 90 means 150 kilonewton. Okay, 60 minus 10, 50, 60 plus 90, 150. So now your minimum load is 50, maximum load is 150. Do you understand this? Only this much you have to do. Just add 60 in both these values. Okay. So now my friend, what will be sigma minimum? What will be sigma minimum? This is axial load. Okay. This is axial load. This is axial load, my friend. It is a bar. So stress will be force upon area. So 50 kilonewton divided by, what will be the area, my friend? It is a square cross section and the side is A. So area will be A square. And what will be sigma maximum, my friend? What will be sigma maximum? Maximum load is 150 kilonewton divided by area is A square. Okay. So sigma minimum and maximum we have got. But we don't want minimum maximum. We want sigma M and sigma A. So what will be sigma M? Sigma mean. Maximum plus minimum by 2. 150 plus 50 means 200 by 2 means 100. So sigma M will be 100 into 10 to the power 3 by A square. And sigma A will be maximum minus minimum. 150 minus 50. 100 by 2 means 50 into 10 to the power 3 by A square. Okay. So we have found the sigma M and sigma A value. Now, which equation we need to use? We need to find the area according to modified Goodman. Modified Goodman. So I told you, according to modified Goodman, what you will do, my friend? You will use both these lines. You will use both these criteria separately and find the area separately. And then you use the maximum area. Maximum area will be the answer. Okay. So according to Goodman's line. First, according to Goodman's line. Okay, first we will use Goodman's line. So what is the equation, my friend? Sigma M by SYT plus sigma A by SE equals to 1 by FOS. So what is sigma M, my friend? 100 into 10 to the power 3 divided by A square into SYT. What is SYT, my friend? What is SYT? Yield strength is 480. Okay, plus sigma A. What is sigma A? 50 into 10 to the power 3 by A square into SE. What is the corrected endurance strength? 150 equals to 1 by FOS. What is FOS, my friend? Factor of safety is 2. So this is the equation according to Goodman's criteria. So find the area, find the value of A according to Goodman's criteria, my friend. Solve this and find according to Goodman's criteria what answer you are getting. According to Goodman's criteria, what answer you are getting. Find the value of A according to Goodman's criteria. What answer you are getting, my friend. Calculate the value of A. Calculate the value of A. Solve this and find the value of A. Let me calculate it for you. Let me calculate it for you. A will go there. So it will become 200 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 480 plus 100 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 150. Okay. So this is the square. So root over answer. It will be 32.92. 32.91. A will be 32.91. Okay. Mm. 32.91 mm. According to which criteria? According to modified Goodman criteria. According to modified Goodman's criteria, the answer is 32.91. Okay. According to modified Goodman criteria, the answer is 32.91. Okay. Then, my friend, we also have to use Langer's criteria. We also have to use Langer's line. Okay. We also have to use Langer's line. So now let's use Langer's line. Now let's use Langer's line. Let's use the Langer's line. So what is the equation of Langer's line? Sigma M plus sigma A equals to SYT by FOS, right? So what is sigma M, my friend? What is sigma M? 100 into 10 to the power 3 by A square. So it will be 100 into 10 to the power 3 by A square. What is sigma A? 50 into 10 to the power 3 by A square. 50 into 10 to the power 3 by A square. What is SYT? 480 divided by FOS is 2. So what will be the area, my friend? From this equation, what will be the area, my friend? So let me calculate it. 150 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 240 root over answer 25 mm. Okay, so which one we will take, my friend? Which one we will take? Safe area, safe value is A. Safe value of A. Which one will be? Maximum. Maximum means 32.91. 32.91 mm. This one will be the answer, the final answer. So do you understand this? Do you understand this, my friend? If you want to calculate the size, then find the size separately from both the line and take the maximum value. If you are calculating factor of safety, take the minimum value. If you are calculating size, like here we are calculating size, take the maximum value. Okay, factor of safety minimum, size maximum. Okay, you have to use both the lines separately. Goodman's line and Langer's line you have to use separately, and then just take one value. If you are calculating factor of safety minimum, if you are taking calculating size maximum. Do you understand this, my friend? Do you understand this? So we have seen, my friend, how to design machine elements subjected to fluctuating stress. Let's revise this. Okay, fluctuating stress means these examples 100 to 300, 0 to 200, minus 100 to 300, where sigma m is not 0. So for these we have 4 criteria. 3 I have already discussed in this case: Gerber, Soderberg and Goodman criteria. Okay, 3 we have seen: Gerber, Soderberg and Goodman, and then the 4th one is modified Goodman. You will find 2 types of problems in GATE. You will find problems related to factor of safety and you will find problem related to size. Okay, so we will find these 2 types of problems. Okay, so this was the design of machine element subjected to fluctuating stress, my friend. Okay, so this was all for today's class. I will upload the PDF of the lecture in our Telegram channel. So follow our Telegram channel, my friend. Follow our Telegram channel. Okay, don't forget to follow our Telegram channel because I will upload the lecture PDF in that Telegram channel. Okay, my friend. Now my friend, some of you who are serious about GATE and engineering services, some of you who are serious about GATE and engineering services and who want to take Unacademy Plus subscription, let me tell you what is the difference between YouTube classes and Unacademy Plus classes. Okay, a lot of students are asking me, sir, if you are uploading lectures on YouTube also, then why we should go on Unacademy Plus? So let me explain the difference, my friend. First of all, YouTube is not an educational platform. YouTube is an entertainment platform. We are using it for education. So the platform is not designed for learning. Okay, the platform is not specially designed for education. But Unacademy Plus is especially designed for education, my friend, learning. Okay, the tools you have in this Unacademy Plus, they are especially designed for learning purpose. Okay, so if you are sitting in Unacademy Plus class, you will feel like you are sitting in a classroom. It will be even better than classroom, my friend. It will even feel better than classroom. Okay, what is the advantage of Unacademy Plus subscription? You will have daily live classes from different educators, top educators of India, in Hindi as well as in English. Okay, you will have daily classes in Hindi as well as in English, my friend. And my friend, you will have different batches. There are crash courses, my friend. There will be crash courses, means whenever there is an exam, let's say there is a GATE exam. So 1 month or 2 months before GATE exam, there will be crash course, my friend, where the entire syllabus will be revised. Similarly, if there is engineering service exam, so 1 month, 2 months before, the crash course will be there. Similarly, let's say there is Coal India exam or Vizag Steel exam or SSC JEE exam, there will be crash courses for these exams, my friend, so that you will get the revision, my friend. Okay, RIB, which is rank improvement batch, my friend. So if you have already attempted GATE and you need to improve your rank, you need to practice more and more questions. So in rank improvement batch, we will practice a lot of questions, my friend, and we are starting rank improvement batch. We are starting rank improvement batch. We are starting rank improvement batch, my friend, from 1st June. From 1st June, we are starting rank improvement batch. So if you want to be a part of that batch especially is designed for improving rank. So we will solve a lot of problems. We are planning to solve at least 200 to 300 problems of top quality, my friend, for GATE, especially for GATE, my friend, from every subject. Okay, so rank improvement batch will start from 1st June. So if you want to be a part of this batch, join Unacademy Plus. Okay, my friend, doubt clearing session, every 4th session will be doubt clearing session, and my friend, there will be weekly tests. So doubt clearing is a very important part of your learning, my friend. Every 4th lecture will be doubt clearing, okay, where all your doubts will be cleared. And for doubt clearing, my friend, for doubt clearing, you can see that there is a special tool. For doubt clearing, there is a special tool. Look at this, look at this. This is a question posted by a student. This is a question posted by a student. So you can send your question, and then your teacher will explain your question, it will explain the solution then and there. So you can send your question and you will find the solution by your faculty then and there. Okay, so this is the advantage of Unacademy Plus, which you will not find in YouTube. So that's why I'm telling you, Unacademy Plus is especially designed for education, my friend. Okay, now my friend, there are batch courses. What is batch courses? These are group courses, my friend, group courses. So some students find that which subject I will complete first, and then which subject I will complete, what will be the sequence. Some students find this very difficult. So in batch courses, my friend, there will be a lot of subjects in that batch. Once you join that batch, one by one your courses will be, your subjects will be completed. So you can join any batch course. Okay, you can join any batch course. This is just like a Netflix subscription. This is just like a Netflix subscription. If you take one subscription, you can see any batch course. There are a lot of batch courses. You can join any batch course, my friend. Okay, different faculties will post different batch courses. They will start different batch courses. You will join any batch. It is up to you. There are hundreds of batches. You can be part of any batch. Today you are watching this video. Tomorrow you can watch another batch. Tomorrow you can watch another batch. So you can take courses from any batch. You can see videos of any batch, my friend. Okay, and my friend, if you are thinking what will be the difference between whiteboard class and this class, will I be able to find it advantageous? What will be the advantage? See, my friend, look at this. These will be the type of diagrams, these will be the type of visualization you will get. Okay, in machine design, I will show you the animation of clutch, the animation of brake, the animation of bearing, so that you will get the understanding of how the components actually work. Okay, so this is the advantage of Unacademy Plus. Look at this visualization. Look at this visualization. This is the snapshot of one of the classes. You will find these type of diagrams. You will feel how these things are working. You will have a feel, you will have a perfect visualization, my friend. Okay, so do you understand what is the advantage of Unacademy Plus, my friend? So if you want to take Unacademy Plus, what do you need to do? Download Unacademy Plus app in your mobile, or you can go to unacademy.com. okay, go to plus, then pick a goal. There are different batches. Pick a goal. Which goal? You have to pick GATE and ESE. You have to pick GATE and ESE. You have to pick GATE and ESE. Okay, then my friend, what you need to do? You need to pick a subscription. 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, for 24 months. But these two are very good. These two are very good, my friend, because per month cost is very less. Per month cost for this course will be how much, my friend? If you use my code, this is my coupon code. If you use my coupon code, you will get a 10% discount. So per month, it will only cost around 1800 rupees after discount. And this per month will cost around 1200 rupees. So around 1800, around 1200 rupees you will have to pay for 1 year or 2 year course. Okay, so if you are taking subscription, take 1 month, 1 year subscription or 2 year subscription, and don't forget to use this code APPROVE10, my friend. Okay, don't think that if you are using this code you will only be able to see my lectures. I told you, you can join any batch course. You can join any batch course, my friend. You can join any batch course. You only have to pay once, and you can join any batch course. You can see the lecture of any faculty. Okay, now my friend, there is EMI option also. There is EMI option also on debit card as well as credit card. On debit card as well as credit card. Okay, so don't forget to use this referral code APPROVE10 on debit card and credit card EMI, and you will get 10% discount, my friend. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can email me, or you can find me on Facebook or Instagram. Okay, my email ID is this. Okay, My email ID is this. So if you have any doubt, just send me an email, or you can join me on Facebook or Instagram. Join me on Facebook or Instagram. Okay, you can find me on Facebook or Instagram. Just search my name. I am very easy to find. Search my name. I am very easy to find, and then we can discuss whether or not you have to take this subscription. Okay, but if you are serious about your studies, take the subscription. A lot of students have already joined. A lot of students are taking every day, they are joining. We have recently launched a batch for GATE and engineering services. We have recently joined a batch, launched a batch. So be a part of that batch, and in few days we will launch another batch, rank improvement batch from 1st June, where we will solve a lot of questions, lot of quality questions. Okay, so if you want to learn from us, be a part of this revolution and join Unacademy Plus, my friend. Okay, so this was all for today's lecture. This was all for today's lecture. I will see you in the next lecture with a different topic, my friend. I will see you in another lecture with a different topic. Okay, so till then, my friend, take care. Have a nice day, my friend. Have a nice day.